Welcome back. Deterrence or punishment? That seems to be the debate surrounding the war against corruption in Nigeria today. Where does the Senate and its president stand? You have also been speaking very recently about, the fight against corruption. You gave a statement which many perceive to be your assessment of the fight against corruption so far. You said, we must fight corruption with sincerity, not fight symptoms. Unlike the 5-minute sensationalism we have now, it must not be based on individuals, but on institutions. Let's fight corruption with sincerity. Now, some say that you're saying that this government lacks sincerity in the manner that it's waged the war against corruption.
I think people always try and be mischievous.
Are they?
Oh yeah. Let me tell you why. Because there's no doubt at all that this administration led by Buhari has done the best so far in the fight against corruption. Even if it's just the fact that it is a front burner issue. All the governments that have been in the past, you can't argue that on a front burner issue, corruption is a front burner issue today in our society. We're all talking about it. Newspapers, radio, internet, it's an issue. So that already, you have the buy-in of everybody that this is a problem that we must address. That is a political will, and that is an achievement on its own. Now, that is where the political will is coming from. The next is implementation. What I'm saying is, we must complement and look at all the efforts that are required. Yes, a lot of achievement has been done in some of the areas of recoveries and some of the issues they're doing. But as we all know, corruption are people, people that are corrupt are very patient. They can sit 8 years. That's what I mean by individuals. They can sit 8 years.
So when you say...
So when I say patient, saying that, okay, President Buhari, 8 years. Constitution does not allow him more than 8 years. Okay, I'll sit 8 years. After Buhari goes in 8 years, I start my corrupt practice. So what we should do is strengthen those institutions using the political will that we have now, so that even after he's gone, Nigeria will never go back to that position, because we have strengthened, he has left a legacy, we have strengthened the institution.
But what did you mean when you say we should fight with sincerity?
In the sense that let us address the issues that might not be front pages. For example, what are those reforms? For example, training of officers, increasing the capacity of proper investigation. Those are things, as you're doing it, the public really, it does not excite them. You will never report it. But because they're not issues. If I give you the issue that, ICPC or EFCC tomorrow are doing a training on this, and I tell you what, next day EFCC or ICPC has some ministers of it, I'm sure that's what will be reported. What I'm saying is that there are some things when you do reforms that they are quiet, they are slow, but they are more effective. So the point is that we should also spend more time to look at what are the problems. The issue is institution. When
you talk about institutions, the National Assembly, especially the Senate, has been accused of blocking some of the institutions that should help fight this war against corruption. You talked about, in that same speech, you talked about how the National Assembly is going to pass the Whistleblower Whistleblower Protection Act. You also talked about a number of other
mutual assistance, process of crime,
exactly,
special courts.
But the only one which you gave a date for was the Whistleblower Protection Act, which you say might be passed in July.
No, there are four there.
There are 4 of them.
Let me take it one by one. Mutual assistance already been laid. So that's like next week we'll pass that. That's why I didn't give a date for that, because if you are following activities in the Senate, that's almost like it's almost done. The report has been done, it's been laid. I think it's scheduled for next week. While the whistleblower, I'm giving a date because it hasn't been finished yet. So I've given a target to the committee to make sure that by the next 2 weeks they finish their work and then they bring it to late. The process of crime, we debated that this week. That has gone to committee level, and that again we hope will come back in maximum a few weeks. The other one has to do with constitutional amendment, as it's going to be sent to it. So I've just shown where we are on each of those 4 bills.
The constitutional amendment is going to take a while.
The one on special courts.
Yes, special
so that has to go to
court.
constitutional amendment. So I don't know how long. You know how that's a very long process. I don't know how long. Even that one is very debatable. I'm not sure whether it will even pass, because people have very strong views. Some believe yes, it's necessary. Some believe that it's not. So we'll wait and see at that time. But on those three important bills to fight corruption, and I think aside from that, there are more amendments we need to do. My view is that, on which we're going to start working with some of the financial institutions, is to see what else can we do to strengthen the mechanism by which we make it difficult for proceeds of crime to find homes or where they can go. And I think that's an area that
I think that takes me to my next question, because you also emphasized deterrence instead of punishment.
Not instead of, as well.
As well.
This is why I say that we should try, all of us, whether executive or legislative, we're all complementing each other. We've all agreed we must fight corruption. So it's not either or. It's not that this is wrong and this is right. What we're saying that we must come from all angles. Let's complement. And I think sometimes when people report, again, people report the fact that it's either or. It's not either or. You can't just say deterrence is the only way to fight corruption.
But then when you think about the fact that corruption is pervasive, a lot of people think that, it's a crime against humanity. I think I've heard the Vice President say that. You don't think that, punishment should also be very well emphasized?
Very much so. But would that punishment stop the corruption alone? I mean, I don't think so. You see, I always believe that when you are in position of responsibility, you got to weigh your vision, your idea of what is good for the country. Sometimes not what is popular and you will get people to clap for you. Where at the end of the day, years later, it might not be the best. I'm not saying that carry on with that. But if we're going to get to our promised land is a country where we have minimized corruption, you must do both. In other societies, take where in Europe or anywhere, even if you took money to a government official, what's he going to do with it? He can't go to a bank. Where's he going to put it? So even that at all, you thinking about it will never happen. The idea would never even arise. But then, if after doing that, you still have those who are dead in committing those crimes, yes. But a lot of people, you will find out that it is even the opportunities that create, even if in your own household, and you have your driver who every time you take him out, money is there in the car for him to look at, to tempt him. Some of them you will find out when you say somebody is honest, it is also by practice. So the point I'm saying, yes, we must punish. We must punish heavily. At the same time as we're doing that, we must also carry out certain reform. If you look at, do survey, civilized societies, it's the two. When you see civilized societies now saying banks close this account, close that account, they didn't stop sanction. Sanction is still going ahead. But they're doing that also to prevent. It reduces cases. Because when they look at this as high risk, have regulations that stop those high risk people even coming to do business with you. They did not say stop sanction. I'm not saying stop sanction. I'm saying we should do both. Because in civilized societies where you have seen success in corruption, it's a mixture of both ways. And that's the point I'm saying. So it's not a point of either or. I'm not saying don't sanction. Don't. That would be so unfair to say that. We must sanction. But as we sanction, we must also look on the long term. What else do we need to do as well?
And so, part 1 comes to an end. Do watch out for part 2 next week. In the meantime, we hope to hear from you. Please use the address on your screen. Thank you for watching tonight. I'm Maokbe Ogun. See you next week.